already started. Hey Rockstar, try this thought on for size. The great French philosopher and screenwriter Jean-Paul Sartre, I'm sure I misspelled that name. He once said, "You do not find yourself, you create yourself." With a quote like that, you know this show's gonna be a good one. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Hey Rock5tar. I am your humble yet fun host, Josafat Emiliano. Get ready, because we got a good show today. And Miguel, do the thing, yo.
One, two, three. One, two, three. Let's go.
Hey Rockstar, welcome. This is a show devoted to bringing value to those interested in starting a side hustle or side business. Whether you're looking to be dual vocational, full-time, part-time, or sometime, I bet our stories will entertain you, encourage you, and empower you to become the rock star of your business and industry. Boom. All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I'm excited to be with you guys. I can't say live because this is actually pre-recorded, because as of this moment, I'm actually traveling in the air as this is going live, coming back from my trip to California, where I got to be a master of ceremonies at a Tag Talk event in Cali. But anyway, but I still wanted to prepare the show simply because I've been doing the work in my life and the topic of forgiveness came up. And as you noticed, the title is SOZO. And a lot of you are like, what the heck is SOZO? And of course, I added on the healing power of forgiveness. All right, so bear with me. It's going to be a little bit of storytelling, but I'm also going to share with you about my personal experience. As most of you know, it is that apart from my financial services business, I've now am taking more of a leading role in my speaking business, and also preparing some other offers to bring to the table to help those. And matter of fact, I'm learning to define what exactly I want to do for the individual, what I want to do for you guys. And as I'm starting to learn to define, is my calling card basically is that I want to be able to help you live your greatest story so that you can find fulfillment and leave a legacy. You know, and all that starts with mindset. All that starts with inner work. So I've taken on new mentorship as we're starting to grow, as I want to become the best version of myself. I've changed things. I'm living my greatest story. I'm going on adventures. I'm taking opportunities to go and meet new and amazing people. It's been amazing. But to be there, to be able to bring the best of me, I need to pour into myself. I need to grow myself. And so I've taken on mentorship. And so it's cool because I'm who I'm with right now. Um, oh, hold up, guys. That was awesome. I just had a quick little interruption. I'm gonna see if I can edit that. If not, you're gonna get a nice little pause in this thing. But that's okay. I love doing this. But as I'm saying, I'm learning I need to grow. I seek mentorship just as other people look for me for guidance mentorship. I also want to seek mentorship and guidance. And lately I've been going on this journey of just with my mentors, and he gave me an assignment called healing your energy leaks. A powerful assignment. I've been doing the work, and towards the end, it started talking about forgiveness. You know, when you need to, I'm just gonna with permission, I'm going to read some really powerful things that is said. It's all done online, but I like to print things out for me. But basically, forgiveness. Um, where I know highlighted it here. Forgiveness does not change the past. However, forgiving can change how it affects you in the present state and in your future state. So a lot of times we tend to sabotage our progress simply because we are holding on to some kind of pain, something, some offense, or something that just won't let us move forward. Um, you know what? I'm not gonna read all this right now, but if you decide to work with me, I will definitely bring you down that guide. But in one of the exercises, you're supposed to go and just pull out certain things, and I found myself not really needing to do that anymore, because nowadays I don't hold on to any kind of resentment. I don't hold on to grudges anymore. I've learned to, as soon as offense or something happens that is attacked towards me, I've learned to forgive, forget, and move on forward, move on to the next. And I started thinking to myself, how is it that now I can so easily forgive people? Because I know the importance. Forgiveness is not for them. And when we forgive, we're not trying to say that it's okay what was done to us, but we forgive so that we have the power and can move into our freedom. So we no longer feel as victims to whatever circumstance or to whatever offense or to whatever happened to us. We're no longer victimized by that, but we move forward with strength, with healing. We allow ourselves to heal. And so I was wondering and just thinking to myself, why is it that today I don't really hold on to offense? Don't get me wrong, people attack me every day. People attack me, and but as you can see in my stories and my videos and my motivation Mondays, I've learned that the voices or the words that people use have nothing to do with me. It has mostly a lot to do with where they're coming from, whether it's good or bad. Whatever they thrash at me, the conversations or the language they use against me or for me, I should never take it personal. I never should say I'm the bad version of what they're saying, or I'm the good version of what they're saying, because again, words are a reflection of them, not so much me, and I should never internalize that. I need to speak my truth. I need to speak where I want to go. I need to speak with that positiveness, with that inner strength and that inner healing person. So anyway, but I finally I remembered why I can easily forgive. And I'm not going to go into all the many stories, but but it all started, I want to say about 6 years ago. Yeah, possibly 7 years ago, when I'm living in Nashville, and at the time I was working as a courier. But anyway, my church, I remember that I had gotten into intermittent fasting, and I started practicing fasting for myself and to just for cleansing, for healing, for spiritual reasons. And fasting is something that has been very beneficial in my life. And I remember that I had gone on a trip and had just gotten back to Nashville, after a trip that I did. I think I went to West Texas, or maybe I came back from Portland. I don't know. I did a lot of traveling. I still do a lot of traveling. It's part of my nature. I love it. Anyway, um, I remember I had just got back to church that following service, and they announced that the church was going to do a 10-day fast. And I was like, wow. And most people, they like, well, they need to prepare for this fast. Now, by all means, the church does a Daniel fast, which is basically just fruits and vegetables. And you can Google Daniel fast. I've never been a fan. To me, a fast is no water, no food, just water. Um, that's for me. And some people do other kind of fast, and I'm saying they're right or wrong, but I'm saying for me, when I want to do fast, it's mostly just I just drink water, or if it's an extended fast, I will do non-caloric non-calorie drinks, but I don't do diet drinks. So basically, tea and coffee, but no sugar, no cream, and water. But now I've learned that the best way when I start doing fast is to put salt into my water, because when you fast, if you drink water and you have no salt coming into you, you actually will start draining your body of nutrients. So you need that sodium to keep the nutrients. Anyway, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. It started off with a fast. They said they're gonna do a 10-day Daniel fast, and I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna jump on in. Did no preparation. I did nothing other than I just showed up. They're gonna start fast tomorrow, and I'm like, I'm in. At Wednesday, I'm gonna start my 10-day fast, and I said I'm just gonna do um my fluids. No solids and nothing with calories in it. And and is I went through it, and I remember when I hit my 10th day, my body just kind of told me, keep going. I'm like, word? All right, let's just keep going. And I kept my fast going. I went for another. See, originally my plan was to do the first 5 days or 3 days regular fast, and after the fifth day, then I'd jump into the Daniel fast or something like that. But I kept going. I kept going. But the funny thing is, on the fifth day, my body said, "We don't want any more of tea or coffee, just straight water." And I did. I made it to the 10th day. My body said, keep going, and I kept going. And it wasn't until the 21st day that I finally felt it was time to end my fast. And my stomach started growling on the 21st day. I'm like, I guess this is it. This is when I'm going to end this fast. It was such an experience. It was such a just my senses like were really awake. How would I say it? Like I was real sensitive to sounds, to sight. Like my body was just not foggy. It was clear-headed, clear-minded. Anyway, in this time, I was also, in my drives, because as a courier, I could drive. I did a lot of long driving around Nashville to do deliveries for a dental lab, actually, at the time. And I remember that I was seeking a way of asking God what I need to do to move forward, to have breakthrough. And I remember one day as I was driving, right after the 21 days of fasting, suddenly there was like an inner voice in me. It's the Spirit of the Lord speaking to me, more to my heart. But I remember just kind of hearing, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, and I answered out loud, "For what?" And suddenly a name came to me, a name of someone I know. And as soon as the name was mentioned, everything they did to me, every offense that I thought I'd forgotten, but it was there from as far back as I remember, it it it, it brewed it up, and I felt instantly all the emotions that I felt when I was offended by their actions, by their words, by their whatever. It was very concentrated, and it came to me, and I'm like, "Whoa, what is this? What is this feeling?" And then suddenly the voice said, "Well, you know what you need to do." And I said, "Yes." And I said, "I forgive," and I mentioned their name. "I forgive them, I release them, and I bless them." Bless those. Bless your enemies. Bless those who offend you. That is the best. And suddenly that weight left me. I'm like, wow, that was a good feeling. And then suddenly the voice said again, "Are you ready?" And I'm like, for what?" And then another name came. And the exact same thing. Every offense, everything I held on to from whatever came, and I felt the emotions. And I did the same thing. I released them, or I forgave them. I released them, and I blessed them. And well, let me go and fast forward the story. Basically, I had to pull over because for the next 2 hours, give or take, it could have been longer. I'm just going to assume it was 2 hours. I went through a long list of name after name of people who, for some reason, I held on to. Whatever. And they went from something from like the smallest thing, from like maybe someone who just gave me a dirty look, release forgiven. Anything I held on to, I was forgiving. And then we're getting deeper and deeper into some big scars, all the way to the one person who I said I would never forgive, for the one person who betrayed my trust, who used me, who used my story to gain favor with other people and smeared me. And I remember whenever I said this person that when I was in my most vulnerable, when I was in the most need, they took me and they used me. I mean, I thought they were helping me out, but in the end, they were just getting all this information. The very manipulative person at the time. And I say that because there's more to this story, and I'm not sure I'm going to share it all, but anyway, um, let's just say it's one person that you're going to ask my best friend, who I probably said would I never would forgive my life. It was this person. And I remember when their name came up into my head, as towards the end, and this is after I've cried and let out so much pain, and I was exhausted from having such an emotional ride. And when the final the final boss came up, oh, it took me a while. It took me a while. It took me a long while. I mean, I literally was parked over to the side, and that's actually what took the longest. That one incident. I cried. I argued. I tried to make a deal with God, like anyone but this person. But finally, the voice said, "Do you really want to be free?" Like, yeah. Then you know what you need to do. And so when I finally was, I guess, exhausted from all the fighting, I finally said, I I forgive. And I said their name. And I release you. And I bless you. And then just like waterworks, and finally, thankfully I was on my last run, so I got the run done. I went back to my home. I had a roommate at the time. Seth was my roommate, I believe, at the time. And I remember just telling him what had done. And he goes, "Bro, you had a SOZO moment." I'm like, "SOZO?" Yeah, man, that was. Oh, wait. I jumped the gun. I didn't tell anyone yet what had happened, but I did go and I journaled and I wrote it, this event. And then I slept. Oh man, I slept good. I fell asleep early. I slept great, because that weight of holding on to so much pain, so much resentment, so much anger, so much revenge, or whatever it was, whatever that I didn't even know I had. I thought I had gotten away with it because I had done ministry. I went to seminary. I went to do mission work, and I had to be, pure of heart. I had to pray the prayers, and God was using me. So eventually, I thought I was good. For some reason, I had held on to these things, and I let it go. I had to let it go. Man, I felt like the lightest person in the world. The next day, I was driving, I was singing, I was whistling. I think I was playing some worship music, because I was just light as a feather, because I had released so much. I was free. I was free. And then finally, the voice once again said, "All right, are you ready?" I'm like, "Oh, for what?" And he's like, "Pull over." And so I pulled over. Um, well, I pulled over into like a gas station or something. And suddenly, what happened was I was kind of like in a vision. I was still aware what's going around me, but like suddenly I was like I was in another place, in another reality, kind of almost like dreaming awake. if that makes any sense. And now I kind of understand when Paul's like, whether I was in a vision or in a dream, was this, he's like, the Lord took me to this place, and that's kind of what it was, because I was aware that I was conscious. I was in my truck, parked at a gas station, um, in my route, but also my eyes were taken to this room, and then I saw this mirror. And immediately when I saw this scenario, I knew exactly where I was. My subconscious had hidden this image, had hidden this this story of my life, this very impactful time in my life. And all of a sudden, there's this old dresser drawer with a big mirror, and in front of this mirror was this little Josaphat, little me, looking at himself in the mirror. And with tears in his eyes, I witnessed as young this young being who once said, I'm going to be a rock star, I'm going to be a pirate. And then mom says, no, okay, well, I'm going to be a rock star. I am the greatest. This little guy who in a lot of journals would write, I am the best, I am the greatest, I am the awesome. My mom actually pulled out these journals like, you used to write this stuff about yourself all the time. And today I joke around that I am. If it if it was not for my humility, I would be the perfect man. But somehow, somewhere, this little guy heard the voices of many, heard the stories and the words that people were using to him. And I witnessed, I rewatched the moment in my life where this little boy got in agreement, and he looked at himself in the mirror and he said, you had the face of no one. You are nothing. Everyone else, they're important. They have a face of someone, but not you. You are nothing. You see, I was my greatest enemy. I was the one who had hurt me way more than the boss of the many, many names that I had to forgive. I was the one who agreed and put that limiting belief into work, into my subconscious. And even though I've done so many great things, that one negative remark, that one agreement, that one contract that I verbally agreed to as a kid was there. Suddenly, in the same vision, I then was pulled away and was taken behind the mirror, and I was in the reflection. And now I am the reflection looking at this little boy. And as soon as little boy notices, little Josafat notices big me, he shies away. He looks sad. He looks like he knows he messed up. He looks like I can't face you right now. He was scared. And everything in me wanted to do with that picture. This picture that I had right here. Big Hosa. This is actually a picture of me as a kid. That's exactly what I wanted to do to this kid. Like, how the hell? How could you? You're the reason I've been struggling. You're the reason I failed so much. You're the reason that you've agreed to this. But I couldn't hate this little kid. He was going in accordance with what people had told him, what people had poured into him. They rewrote his truth innocently. And although he is a happy, playful kid, deep down he was scarred by this. The enemy had planted this false seed in him. And as I'm looking, poor kid crying, the voice again reminded me, you know what you need to do. And I said, I forgive you. The voice is louder. I forgive you. And I'm yelling in my truck. But I'm yelling, I forgive you. You are not a nobody. You are not nothing. You have been sanctified. You are, and all the promises started coming to me. You are fearfully, wonderfully made. You are amazing. The enemy knew from day one that you were going to be someone great. And so he sent agents to destroy your hope, to destroy that dream before you could even start. Stinking enemy. But what's more, this people have been looking at you, people have been judging you, people have put you on a pedestal, but this pedestal is no longer a placement of judgment. This pedestal is a place where we will stand, we will rise up, and we will declare, I am here. I am still here. I am going to live my life. I'm going to live my greatest story. I am going to write something that can inspire and encourage others. I am the boss of my life. That was kind of muggy. I am the boss of my life. And the cool thing is I kept pouring more love, more and more, just reaffirming and rechanging and reprogramming. This little boy went from the sad, broken, timid to happy, excited, practically dancing and jumping up because the main person that I needed to forgive was myself. Now, when I came back, man, that was the ultimate weight. That was the ultimate thing that was keeping me from going beyond. And then then later on, I shared with my roommate the 2 days that I had gone through. And then he mentioned, dude, it sounds like you had a SOZO moment. And I'm like, what is that? And I actually, I asked Cha-Cha, that's what I call Chappy, or what I call Chat GPT. Hey, Cha-Cha, can you define what SOZO means? Let me pull it up for you. I had it ready. Well, I thought I had it ready. Good thing that I can. There it is. So I asked Cha-Cha, hey, Cha-Cha, what would you explain to me what SOZO is? And Cha-Cha's like, certainly. In the context of Pentecostal church movement, sozo is a term that refers to a specific ministry and process aimed at inner healing and deliverance. The word sozo comes from the Greek New Testament and means to save, to heal, or to make whole. It is often associated with the idea of holistic salvation, encompassing spiritual, emotional, and physical healing. You see, to end today, one last story. Fast forward. After this amazing moment of healing, of forgiving, of moving forward with my life and no longer being a slave to the subconscious past that was not letting me have my breakthrough. Things started changing. I mean, that's shortly afterwards, I got the gig as a technical director at TPAC, and that was amazing. And now where I'm going, it's even a greater adventure. But I flew home to visit my mom for Mother's Day, and I celebrated with them. And then the following Monday, I had to get back to work. And so as I was flying back, as I was getting on the plane, heading back to Nashville, I had first I had a layover in San Antonio, but it was a connecting flight, so it was going to be from West Texas to San Antonio, San Antonio to no, sorry, to Dallas, West Texas to Dallas, Dallas to Nashville, and all of a sudden I'm in this plane just minding my own business. I'm actually reading. Got my Kindle there and I'm reading. And suddenly I hear, "Oh my gosh, Hosa, is that you?" And I looked up, and lo and behold, the big boss, the number one person who I said I would never forgive, was there in front of me. But you know what shocked me the most? Nothing of resentment, nothing of anger, nothing of, I was just like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he's like, "Yeah," you could tell they were stumbling and they were kind of hesitant and they were nervous and they're like, and they just started speaking at 100 miles per hour. And, being able to read body language, I could tell that they were a little bit nervous. And I just played it cool. I said, "Well, here's what I'm doing. I'm 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 in Nashville. Been there for, I guess at the time would have been 4 years, 5 years. Yeah. Oh no, I think because this happened 6 years ago, so it would have been at least 3 years. I was in Nashville, and I told him, "Yeah, I mean, I'm at a good church. I'm just getting you." Actually, no, no, no. Fast forward. The SOZO event happened 6 years ago. This would have happened 3, 4 years ago. Anyway, so yeah, I told them that I was in Nashville and all the stuff that I was doing, how I've been involved in my church, have an amazing job. This is all things that are going down. So it was right before 2020. So it could have been 2019 when it happened. Anyway, fast forward, and we're talking, and they were saying how they found a great church and they're getting plugged in their town, their city where they're living at, and this and that. And I'm like, "Great, awesome. I'm glad to hear that, man. I'm proud of you for that." Anyway, we landed in Dallas and they disappeared. They jet out of the plane like, "Oh, all right, cool." This is before we had Whataburger in Nashville, so it definitely was before 2020. But I always like flying through Love Field because they have a Whataburger. I always make sure I had at least an hour or an hour and a half layover. So I get there to get my one last Whataburger fix before getting to Nashville. Anyway, I go to Whataburger, I get my burger, I'm eating there, and then suddenly they pop up out of nowhere. Like, I was just talking to mom. Um, she says hello to you and this and that. And I'm like, "Dude, it's good to hear." And so like they're like, "Well, I gotta go catch my other flight. It was great seeing you." And they extended their hand like they just want a handshake. And I had none of this. I just got up, I embraced them, I hugged them, like, "Love you, man, proud of you, keep it up." And as they walked, they took a few steps and they turned around like, "Hosa, thank you." I'm like, "For what?" Just thank you for just being you. And they left. But I was more excited the fact that that healing had happened. I had nothing to hold on to them anymore. They held nothing against me anymore. And in that interaction, they were also freed from whatever. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but they were very grateful to know that as far as they're concerned, they don't have to worry about me. Because whatever they did does not affect me anymore. I have been healed. I had forgiven so many. So all that to the power of forgiveness, the power of being able to say, "I'm sorry," or no, well, first of all, say, "I'm sorry that I held on to this for so long." But you got to say that to yourself, because the only person you're hurting by holding on to the offenses of others is yourself from growing and maturing and being able to move forward. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's some big things that happen to you. But if you continue to live under that victimhood of others, and then you will continue to be dependent on them for your growth, for your healing, that's not a good place to be. But when you forgive, you you don't give them, you don't say it's okay, but you tell yourself, "But I can heal now. I can grow from this. I can learn from this. I can grow from this, and I can move forward and become the best version of myself." And when I find someone else who's going through this, I know how to help them. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's SOZO. That is the healing power of forgiveness. And I encourage you to start, even if you need to start writing one name at a time. Start with the least offensive person. The weather girl got the weather wrong. I forgive her. They charged me a little too much or whatever. I forgive them. Start with little things and work your way if you can. Now, if you can fast, do it too. But mostly it's to get in a place where you can think clear. So it's not, because it is going to be an emotional ride, but I'm saying, but you don't forgive out of an emotional need. You forgive out of freedom, the need to be free, the need to heal, the need to grow. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this has been SOZO, the healing power of forgiveness. I am Josafat Emiliano, and as you know, I now dedicate myself to helping you live your greatest story so that you can find fulfillment and leave a legacy. Hey Rockstar. Oh, and this has been Hey Rocks. What this is, it's a storytelling platform where I invite leaders and entrepreneurs to share their stories so that they can entertain you, empower you, and encourage you to live your greatest story as a leader and entrepreneur. Or like we like to say, or as we like to say in this neck of the woods, and become the rock star of your industry. Looking forward for next week. We got a great show. Thank you for joining us. Please leave a comment of things you like. Let me know if you'd like to work with me. Just hit me up. I am ready to pour into others and mentor others into their social moments or into their greatest stories. So until next time, all the way from Andrews, America, we wish you much love and many blessings. I can't end the show today.